get a load of this, guys. Rocket Mortgage just delivered $291 million in profits amid improved margins and MRS acquisitions. You know, right now, all you hear is how mortgage companies are failing, how loan officers can't make a buck right now, how the market is really ass over tea kettle. But the truth is, those who bring a great market to product can find a way to succeed. That's how we have to look at ourselves right now. We have to raise our game, and when we do that, all we have to do is be better than the competition. And how's our competition doing? Really ask yourself, how's our competition doing? I'll put it like this. Go call 20 loan officers and see how many pick up.
Ultimately, the Detroit-headquartered lender reported a GAAP net income of $291 million from January to March, following a GAAP net loss of $411 million in the first quarter of 2023 and a loss of $233 million in Q4 of 2023, per filings with the Security and Exchange Commission.
I just got to point this out. Matt Ishba's head is probably blowing up with this news. And I'm not saying you have to love Rocket, but you gotta admire how they've conducted themselves. Oh, but there's more on the profits.
The company's servicing portfolio included subservice loans, was about $511 billion in unpaid principal balance at the end of the first quarter. Rocket serviced 2.5 million loans, generating about $1.4 billion in annual fee income.
In short, if you want to go to a company with stability, you want to find ones who have MSRs. Now, this is kind of crazy and a lot of people missed it. The FDIC, well, they just issued this. Agencies issue proposal on incentive-based compensation.
Section 956 requires the appropriate federal regulators, the FDIC, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, the OCC, the NCUA, the FHFA, and the SEC, to jointly prescribe regulations or guidelines with respect to incentive-based compensation practices at certain financial institutions that have $1 billion or more in assets. Once the NPR is adopted by all 6 agencies, it will publish in the Federal Register with a comment period of 60 days following publication. Until then, each agency acting on the NPR will make it available on their respective websites and will accept comments.
Okay, so let's dissect that for a second. Every agency that governs anybody in the mortgage business is on board with this right now. Incentive-based compensation, we're talking about middle management, we're talking about account reps. And any company with over $1 billion in assets is going to be affected by this. Now, I just told you you want to work with a company who's got these MSR rights. Well, those MSR rights could turn into a lot more regulation for them in the very near future. And yes, we're very much talking about you, the non-bankers out there. And finally, listen, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. The first one is your success, which is very important. The second one is how you get there. Now, the problem that we have in this industry is we all do the same thing. We're like silverfish in the middle of the ocean and we just zig and zag all together. We kind of want to be that salmon who's going upstream a little bit. So how do we get there? Well, the best and easiest way to get there is by going non-QM. No. This isn't a crazy non-QM pitch. Hear me out for a couple of seconds. Here's the first thing. Downstairs from me, right downstairs from me, I've got 75 small businesses. What would stop me from taking a flyer over there and saying, hey, listen, I am the expert on self-employed loans. If you have a self-employed loan that you're in need of, you should talk to me first. And I can list everything that I'm doing and hand that off to 75 small businesses who are all self-employed owners. Why would I not do that? Every one of those businesses has a database. So I'm not only going after the owner of the business, but then I'm getting access to the database of people who frequent that business. Now, does that sound like a good idea to you? Because it sounds like a great idea to me. Now, we all know about DSCR loans, but here's what people really don't talk about. On a 4-plex or a 5-plex, even a 6-plex, all you have to do is find out if that thing pencils. And then the house is qualified. You qualify the house, not the borrower. What would stop me from going and talking to 10 real estate agents out there right now and saying, hey, listen, do me a favor. Find every multi-unit complex that you can find out there and let's see what rents they're getting and see if we can pencil that against a great rated DSCR loan right now. Then all we have to do is find the investor who wants a money-making opportunity. What would stop me from doing that? Now, you might have borrowers having a hard time affording houses. Has that happened yet? I think that's happening everywhere. Let's say you have a teacher or a firefighter or a cop or whatever it is who has a W-2 employee and they're trying to buy a house and we know they can afford it, but the income that you qualify them with on agency deals simply do not allow them to do that. Well, if they had a secondary source of income that you couldn't qualify them with, I could go bank statements with non-QM and I could qualify them on that house. What would stop me from doing that? These are all great, simple ideas and there's no cost to them, very small investments of your time and there's a massive return. If you're not familiar with some of these products and some of these strategies, you should reach out to us. Let's talk about these programs and figure out how to get you to close more deals, because that's where you want to be. Oh, and for the realtors who are watching this, call us up too. We'll help you out. We'll find a lender who's following these strategies. Thanks for listening.